First thing first, one is that our academic calendar is a bit different from other states of India. Ours is from March to April.
Okay.
So by the time this pandemic was pandemic as well as this lockdown was declared, our academic session was almost over.
Hmm.
So we are stuck up with this board examination class 10 and 12. We almost finished about or complete this class 10 as well as class 12 exam by the time this lockdown was declared. Only a few subjects were left for class 10 as well as class 12. So by the time the lockdown was declared, our general academic session was over. So the problem that we faced in the beginning was the start of the new academic session. Because as per this existing calendar, we have to start a new academic session from 1st April onwards of this year. So, other than that, we don't have that much of a difficulty for the ongoing academic session of the previous year. So the first problem that we faced was the starting of the new academic session. So the statewide lockdown was declared on 23rd March 2020. So all educational institutions as well as all the small, even the business, private businesses closed down. So in anticipation of that, we plan to have a kind of this online education program for the states. So starting from the April onwards, we start this a kind of online education through Doordarshan Kendra. The first, because the Doordarshan Kendra as well as this cable TV, locally available cable TV. We do this academic sessions. We start this academic session through this Doordarshan Kendra and the local cable TV. We choose this Doordarshan Kendra because it has the widest coverage, not only for the state but in the neighboring states as well. So we use the services of Doordarshan Kendra right from April onwards. That is the beginning of the current academic session. So online classes were started through this Doordarshan Kendra, and and our feedback was quite good. Online teaching, although it may not be that interactive, but they still serve the purpose. And one more good thing that we have done is that as soon as that this broadcasting of classroom lesson, classroom teaching, those were done, it was uploaded immediately in the YouTube channel. So that information was disseminated to all the schools all over the state. So even if the student or a teacher misses that class of that particular broadcast, the student can access that teaching anytime at his convenience. So even when the so problem is that when that transmission was held on a specific time, that particular village or that particular student may not have power supply, or he doesn't have the available time for that. But he can access that thing anytime he wants through YouTube channel. So it was done every day, right from our transmission was from Monday till Saturday.
Hmm.
So for and we do it in staggered in such a way that we utilize two services of local cable TV and Doordarshan. So the first transmission of the day starts at 2 on one cable channel, and at 3 at the prime time, 3 in the afternoon, it was transmitted through Doordarshan. And that same thing was for that day was repeated again at another local channel at 4. So there is a kind of a repeat transmission for 3 times within a day itself. So even if that 3 times was missed by a particular student, he can still have access to YouTube. So first we start with class 9, then class 12, and all the classes. So those lessons were selected to the teachers in consultation with the teachers, and we selected these hard spots and all those things. And simultaneously, to other than this television broadcast, Our SCRT organizes this student activity program like essay writing competition, painting, pamphlet making, and all those things. These competitions were held online also. Those can be accessed by the students as well as the teachers through WhatsApp. So whatever means is available was utilized by the State Department. So we utilize a lot of WhatsApp because each and every teacher belongs to at least one WhatsApp group. At the state level, we have a big umbrella group of WhatsApp that is subdivided down to the district, sub-district, and the cluster level also. That means each and every one we can reach them through WhatsApp within a very short time. So those were the basics that we have done at present. When the lockdown situation was eased off a bit, teachers were present in the schools, and the students come to the schools and do this face to face. This it's not exactly a teaching, but to clear their doubts and to have received guidance from their teachers, they went to the schools. Those were allowed when the situation permits, when the situation is off. So that was quite useful to us. This was coupled by these WhatsApp lessons and these online lessons as well. Our teachers were truly motivated because it was quite irregular for them not to attend the schools. So their inclination was to attend the schools. So as and when soon as the situation permits, when the lockdown situation is off, the teachers were even before the students were called to the schools, the teachers themselves prepare and sanitize those school buildings in many parts of the state and especially in the villages and other towns. Because as you see, like in other states, many of our school buildings were utilized for this containment center, then this for the alternative shelters and all. Those school buildings need sanitization. So utilize those. And afterwards, they attend the schools.
Mm-hmm. So
And,
what? Yes, sir,
and
please
one more
proceed.
thing is that although our school system was to start from first April onward, we cannot do this new admissions in time. But then, by at the beginning of first week of May, I think our school admission was started, and from then onwards, this and this face-to-face meeting, not regular class, but it's a kind of maybe kind of we can call it a face-to-face meeting among the students and teachers, but not a regular class that was held.
Okay. So were there any remote learning initiatives taken by you and your team so that the students have access to education? Any remote learning initiatives?
So, what do you mean by remote learning? Because this Doordarshan is also a remote learning itself,
Mm-hmm.
and in many
And
of our
how was
villages,
the content created for Doordarshan and
content was created by the teachers themselves under the guidance of this SCRT as well as state board. You see, at the beginning of the lockdown in the early part of this year, that is during May, you see, our school session start from April onwards. So during the first month itself, during April, SCRT and the state board designed a kind of this weekly as well as monthly learning program, which
Mhm.
was shared with all the teachers through WhatsApp group.
Right.
So from every quarters of the state, a teacher will know that what lesson has to be taken or taught to be or on that day itself. So this kind of a lesson plan or master plan was prepared by the SCRT as well as state board. SCRT in the sense that SCRT takes care of the elementary section and state board take care of the secondary section. So kind of this uh, weekly as well as a monthly program was circulated and shared with all the teachers. So that's that. In that way, we do this kind of remote teaching as not only a teaching, but it's a kind of a remote learning. And
Right.
the students themselves submitted this home assignments and what they have learned, and this assessment was also through remotely. And when the situation permits, The students themselves go to the school, submitted their papers, and receive extra guidance from their teachers as well. Challenges, first thing was that it was a very strange idea to, to do the learning process, to do darshan, to local TVs, and especially to these mobile phones, because
Right.
as you see, not everyone can afford a laptop or even this smartphone itself. And even when they have this access to these smartphones, connectivity was a big challenge for us because we may schedule a time for this online teaching and online classes to this uh, web-based teaching and all those things. But then many a times I find that network connectivity was not available for that whole village. That's why we uploaded all these things. All these things were recorded and uploaded in YouTube. We have so many hits in the YouTube channel also. That's a very
Okay.
encouraging thing for us.
So internet facility was a challenge. Were there
Yeah,
any more challenges that came
that was a
from
big challenge. Yeah, that's one of the biggest.
apprehensions apprehensions from
Yeah,
the your
thing
team
is that
members,
even the parents and the public themselves
parents?
are used to idea of these regular classes, regular assessment, and all those things. It was a very strange thing for them, and some of us did not believe that actual teaching and not teaching, but actual learning. How could it take place through these mobile phones and through this TV? Because as we generally understand, TV and mobile phones were usually used for entertainment only. You see,
Yes.
TVs, yeah, but now it has a different. Now they are understanding it. These mobile TVs is a big learning tool for us. Now our idea have changed, kind of this paradigm shift. There's a means of play. Mobile phones are usually used for playing games and all. Then now without mobile phones are kind of a textbook for us now. We must give orientation to the parents, not only to the parents but the public as well, that these are the changing circumstances and these are happening and it's going to happen for a long time, that they should understand. So the biggest pressure that we face is that the parents pressuring us to open the schools in spite
Okay.
of this pandemic situation. We face a lot of problems, a big push from the parents to open the schools. But as of now, we cannot. So we must reorient them. And one more thing is that evaluation that we have done through this online process, it should have gained some confidence of the parents as well as the public. As of now, the public confidence in our system is not that high. So conventional exam system, everyone accept it as a reasonable evaluation system and all. But our current system is not doesn't have that much of a public does not gain that much of a public confidence at present. That is one big lesson that we learn. And one more thing is that there must many of our students are used to read from the textbooks as well. So now these days textbooks are more or less obsolete.